Okay, so this is the DeFi time sustainability breakout room for the after town hall of Catalyst. I'm Daniel. For those that don't know me, I'm co-founder of Metera. And first of all, I want to thank you all for coming and presenting all of these great projects and joining the conversation with us. Special shout out to Newman and the Cardano for Climate team, helping us spread the word and create a great community in Cardano. The main reason for this breakout room is to give exposure to projects of Cardano on Fund 9 proposals for Catalyst. We chose DeFi and sustainability as the subject of the room, but because as we know in the last decade, we've seen a huge shift in traditional finance towards impact and ESG standards. And we believe blockchain and especially DeFi can help adopt this trend in a much faster way. And we want to collaborate and get to know all of the projects helping these becoming a reality. First, a few rules for the breakout room. Each presenter will have 5 minutes to present and 5 minutes for Q&A. If you want to use the whole 10 minutes for the presentation, you can do so. The idea is that after we finish all the presentations, we can get some networking going and some questions as well. And I'll show the timer on my screen so you can keep control of the time. First, we'll have Newman presenting Cardano for Climate, then Santiago and George with Metera's proposal for Fund 9. We're gonna give 5 minutes to Santiago and 5 minutes to George, and after we're gonna do Q&A. Then we have Bruno from Empower, following up with Sean from Impact Scope, and Ben, I think, from Tangent ADA that will join in the next few minutes. So Newman, can you share now? Are you able to share?
I'm muted. Yep, I can share. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
Well,
it's a little blurry, to be honest.
Here we go.
I think it's.
Oh, it's blurry on my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like very pixelated on mine.
Oh. I'm trying to record a meeting from earlier. I wonder if that.
I think you're having connection.
I'm gonna try this. Check this out.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Oh boy. How about now? I was recording I was doing something on the computer, but maybe let's try it again.
Your video, maybe that helps.
Aha, here we go. I don't need that. I do want that. Okay, how about that?
I can see
blank screen. Oh, no, I see something.
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Can you see?
Yeah, you're cutting off a little bit, but let's see how it goes.
Okay. First off, I'd love to okay, hold on. Oh man, I'm trying to get my speaker notes up, and it's fighting me. It's fighting me. Hold on, just a sec.
I think your Wi-Fi is having problems.
Have I not been doing this forever? Hold on. Sorry, guys.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Let's try. I can just present. I can just talk about C4C. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. C4C is a wonderful organization. We're acting as sort of a celebration of being around for 1 year, which is kind of an old guy in it's kind of an old guy in Project Catalyst. I got to. What class is doing this? Okay, I'm sorry, Daniel. I just want to thank the sponsors, the people that are here. Empower. I know that Blaine and Bruno are. Maybe I've seen Bruno. Impact Scope and M Labs, Tangent Ada are wonderful. Thank you for the attention and all the ability to be here. My goal is that you get ready to listen to the other presentations. Hopefully, we don't tire you out. And the talk will last about 4 or 5 minutes here. Project Catalyst is a self-organized community of environmentalists, activists, and technologists within the Project Catalyst and Cardano blockchain community. Some of the people that you might see at a C4C event are Melanie, Yoram, Nori, Simon Cole, myself. And because we're celebrating this history, this year birthday, literal birthday, I wanted to talk a little bit about our history. It started as a challenge setting in Fund 6, and that happened August 26th of last year. Our first event was in November of 2021 last year, and we were first funded in Fund 7 with 2 proposals in January. That was C4C Community Hub and C4C Community Events. Basically, what we do are 3 things. We onboard, we educate, and we promote. Bringing those who see the environmental crisis, basically the degradation of life support systems on the planet, and want to do something about it, and are using blockchain technology. That's basically environmentalists, activists, and technologists. So if you fit into one of those categories, you can fit a home in C4C. The second thing that we do is telling people the advantage of blockchain in Cardano. This is in the education, helping people to be successful in Project Catalyst and at each phase in Project Catalyst, all the different little things that happen there. Also about environmental concerns and environmental issues. There's so many topics and sort of misrepresentation, etc. The third and last thing that we do, or we do a lot of stuff, but is promotion, highlighting and celebrating the impact-related people and projects inside of Catalyst. We sort of promote and encourage engagement, action, and especially collaboration. Now, I'm going to go into each one of those: engagement, action, and collaboration. Yep. And the engagement is meaningful participation and showing initiative. Action is like boots on the ground, really making things work. And collaboration is, we feel that the climate change is a failure in cooperation, and that there's interdependence that we can show. What does that necessarily look like? It basically weekly meetings and monthly events. Big thing about Catalyst is our partners. We definitely want to highlight the partners that are here today, like Pow and Metera. But we also partner with IOHK, the Catalyst team, Cardano Foundation, and Dr. M, WADA, Mergo Academy, Gimbal Labs, Conma, Sustainable Ada, Little Fish, tons and tons. And then closing up, I just want to post we have some proposals. We have 4 challenge settings and 4 regular proposals. I will post them in the chat. Thank you so much. I apologize for the technical difficulties, and I'm looking forward to hang out with you in this in the next bit and hearing all of your proposals. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Newman. Great. Yeah, we'll talk then about all of the plans of Cardano for Climate and all of the proposals. I think it's great. And there's a lot of people that don't know about you. So now we'll go with Santiago and George for the proposal of Metera. I'm gonna be the one sharing the screen. So here it is. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so time starts now.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, well, my name is Santiago. I'm the head of impact here at Metera, and well, it's a pleasure here to be with you. Also, well, I would like to introduce George. He's from MLabs. He's going to explain Metera in more detail. And well, as you are all well aware, we are facing a critical situation. Climate change, poverty, and inequality, between other kind of stuff, it's really hard to solve right now. And well, it's difficult to accept, but neither government nor philanthropy, even combined, are equipped to solve these problems alone. Also, another big issue is that we have insufficient capital allocated towards sustainable society. And well, our objective, it's pretty simple. Daniel, can you change the slide, please? Thank you. So, sorry, yeah, thank you. Our objective, it can sum up coordinating and capitalizing impact with investment tools that everyone can use. The idea is to use blockchain, and through blockchain capitalize any type of impact. So people can have monetary and impact revenue. We are building the bridge between capital, any type of capital, being retail or institutional investors, to quality impact solutions. It's really important to understand that we're focusing only on quality impact solutions. So our solution, to sum it up, yeah, thank you. It can be divided into 4 parts. The first part is impact portfolios. These impact portfolios will be automated. The idea is for users to they don't need to worry about the burden of asset management. We know that it's not an easy feat. Also, we're totally decentralized. All our users will be governed through a DAO, and all of the portfolios will be rated and will have an Oracle system that will probably vet quality projects. Another interesting feature, can you change, please? Thank you. Another interesting feature we're building for the protocol is a dashboard. The objective here is to give the space and tools that anyone can use so people can invest on impact. Some of the main functionalities are to buy and sell tokenized portfolios, to buy and sell governance tokens, and of course, to visualize the amount of impact and earnings each user has. This is an issue because people don't normally have a straightforward idea of how much impact their money is making. So we are building this tool for everybody to visualize it. And also I would like to announce that we are about to launch mid-September our testnet. So if everybody's interested, please join us and try it out. If you can give us feedback, we will really appreciate it. Also, the Fund 9 proposal, well, the current state of development right now, we are already able to make portfolio creation, token minting, some rebalancing capabilities, and well, the Oracle updating. As I mentioned, we are developing right now the front end between other stuff. You can check it out on our proposal. And well, to sum it up, we are really, really proud to be to have as a partner MLabs. In this case, they have helped us a lot on the development of Metera. And well, now I'm going to turn the presentation over to George. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Santiago. So my name is George. I'm George Florowski. I'm a delivery manager at MLabs. I oversee the technical implementation of Metera, at least the work that's being done by the MLabs developers. So as Santiago mentioned, Metera is a platform where you can define portfolios of digital assets that are focused on ESG impacts, so environment, sustainability, governance, with fine-grained control over the definitions of these portfolios. And ultimately, at mainnet launch, users will actually be able to propose their own portfolios with their own definitions of how the portfolios should be rebalanced, how the allocation among the different digital assets should be rebalanced. So each portfolio holds its underlying assets in a vault smart contract on the user's behalf, and that contract dictates how rebalancing and liquidity operations are done for that. So it's not being held in custody by some third party or anything. It's being held in a smart contract on chain, and that smart contract sort of determines how the portfolio is allowed to be rebalanced to track the index formula essentially that was defined for that portfolio, and how liquidity operations are allowed to be done with it. Users then interact directly with this vault smart contract to either rebalance the portfolio when needed, as determined by the smart contract, or to mint or burn portfolio index tokens. So these index tokens correspond to like a chunk of the portfolio essentially. Finally, we'll have governance token holders, which will be able to claim platform fees and rewards, as well as vote to appoint auditors for new portfolios, plus general governance capabilities over the platform overall. So can we go to the next slide? Right. So what is a portfolio? A portfolio is defined, broadly speaking, by three major things. First of all, you define the list of digital assets that are eligible to be included as the underlying in the portfolio, right? So you can imagine, let's say, a list of 100 assets or something, right? Of which the portfolio may allocate, percentages in its composition towards the top 20 or something, based on some metrics. Based on metrics like ESG ratings, like how well is the project doing on its environmental sustainability and governance ratings. And these are sort of standardized things that can be provided. These are standardized metrics that can be calculated and provided via oracles to the on-chain, plus the actual asset prices and other metrics. Really, the sky's the limit in terms of like what the the portfolio creator can propose for the definition of the portfolio. And finally, the critical piece is a weighting function that takes in all of these signals, the asset prices, the ESG ratings, etc., and calculates what should the target composition of the portfolio be at any given point in time. So the Vault smart contract, as I said before, it will hold the assets that users deposit into the portfolio in exchange for the portfolio index tokens, and it will govern how the rebalancing operations can move the portfolio's current asset composition towards the target composition. Next slide, please. So let's talk about that a little bit. At any given time, any user can rebalance a portfolio if its actual composition diverges from the target composition as determined from the information signals coming into the portfolio's weighting function. So for example, let's say that a given portfolio currently contains 10 units of asset A, 20 units of asset B, and 30 units of asset C. But the portfolio's target composition, based on the information signals, ESG ratings, price signals, all that, says that the portfolios should actually be composed of 20% A, 40% B, and 40% C. So this means that the Vault smart contract of the portfolio will allow any user to come in and rebalance the portfolio by depositing 2 units of A, 4 units of B, and withdraw 6 units of C in an atomic transaction. Of course, this rebalancing can also be broken up into pieces, but the point is that the Vault smart contracts ensures that anything that users do in a rebalancing operation always moves the portfolio from the current composition towards the target composition, right? And so bit by bit, we can move towards the target composition. And then when the target changes again, we can move towards that. And so overall, you'll have a portfolio that tracks closely a particular function, an index function of interest for the portfolio.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds. All right, great. Next slide. So minting and burning a portfolio index tokens, this is pretty simple. The idea is that when you can mint index tokens by depositing underlying assets in the correct proportion relative to, like according to the target composition, and you can do the reverse. You can burn index tokens by withdrawing underlying assets from the portfolio, and you have to maintain the target composition. And of course, this means that the portfolio index tokens are always backed by the underlying assets according to the composition, the target composition determined by the portfolio's weighting functions and the information signals coming in. So 10 seconds for the governance. So governance, we will have at launch, at the mainnet launch of Metera, so not the testnet launch next month, but the mainnet launch afterwards, anybody will be able to create a new portfolio, and creators will receive an annual percentage fee from their portfolio. So successful portfolios incentivize, or creators are incentivized to create successful portfolios that are popular for people to invest into. And most often creators will themselves, maintain some of the oracle signals that come in and ensure that they are high quality and decentralized. And governance tokens will appoint auditors to kind of vet those proposals, their security, economic soundness, financial soundness, things like that. And finally, governance holders will receive rewards that are collected from the platform, from interacting with the platform. That's basically it. Thank you so much. Sorry for going over time.
We have 3 minutes for questions for anyone in the audience. Does anyone have a question for George and Santiago? You can raise your hand or just talk into the mic. Don't be shy.
Oh, hello.
Yes, Bruno, go ahead.
Yeah, just really interested in how you guys first got to collaborate. Yeah, MLabs and Metera, how you got connected. Was this initiative by MLabs directly, or did you guys come to meet a little bit after? Just curious, a little bit.
Yeah, so it was a couple of months ago, but we first contacted MLabs, and it was pretty, let's say, good relationship from the beginning, because they were totally on board when we proposed the idea of building something that could make a real change. They helped us from the beginning, and it was kind of like an interest of both parties to build something that could make this type of change. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and from our end, it's been a really fun project to co-develop with Metera. Our weekly discussions have always been really fun, and then we'd have the developers go out and implement some of our ideas, and then we'd iterate. And so far, the process has been very pleasant, and we hope to continue, and get to the kind of the finish line with this project, because I think this could be really impactful. If you think about impact investment, I think right now that's really been hindered by the fact that it's very hard to actually quantify things properly and in a kind of decentralized, immutable blockchain way. And I hope that this could be the vehicle for us to do that, right? And actually have projects out there that can benefit from the fact that they have really good ESG ratings, and their performance on that scale is really good alongside their financials, and for that information to automatically make it into decisions being made by these automated portfolios out there that can allocate more investment towards those projects automatically if that project is doing well. So I think I see a lot of potential in that. So
one last question from Dylan. You raise your hand, and we'll go to the next.
Yeah, how are you going? So with these, I just want to know about the regulations. If these assets are sort of securities, how does that work?
Okay, so it's kind of a gray area at the moment, but the idea is to find some jurisdiction. We are working towards that, and we are making it, let's say, as kosher as it can be. So to find a jurisdiction that can handle this type of asset management, and from that on, work towards full regulation, let's say.
And Dylan, yeah, it can be a security, but there's some things with decentralization that you don't have custody of the assets. Some regulation might allow a decentralized system. So we are still navigating that. That's one of the big challenges of the project, but we're with good lawyers and working on that. So thank you for the question.
So I can't speak to the legal aspects necessarily, but from a technical perspective, I personally see this design as a generalization, a more broad system than a DEX. right? It's like a DEX, but if you allowed to have pairings of more than 2 assets at a time, and you allowed the composition to be more dynamic than a simple constant curve, right? It's slightly more limited in terms of like, it's not like an exact generalization. There are certain things that kind of are more limited in this context than in a fully generalized DEX, but that's by design for the purposes of this vehicle. But yeah, so in that sense, I think maybe if a DEX can be considered to be not a security, then maybe a vehicle like this, it might be argued by the lawyers, could also kind of follow within that same categorization. But I think that remains to be determined and might vary jurisdiction by jurisdiction. So that's my 2 cents from like a technical, not a legal perspective.
Perfect. So we'll continue with Bruno from Empower. Can you please present, Bruno?
Sure, yeah, happy to. Just a second. There we go. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. So yeah, I'm just going to do a small presentation on Empower. I hope you guys can hear me and see me okay. Not see me, unfortunately, I don't have a camera at the moment. I've been needing to pick one up from the local electronics shop, but unfortunately not yet. So yeah, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Empower, what we do. We don't have a fund line proposal at the moment, but we did get funded in the, I think it was Fund 5, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where we started our journey kind of on Cardano. So yeah, just going to go through a little bit what we're doing at the moment and what we've done over the past year or so, building on Cardano. So the mission of Empower is to empower African communities and hopefully beyond in the future. We're focusing on Africa because, obviously there's a lot of potential there in terms of the communities and in terms of, investment potential, where we see that, it's a young population and there's a lot of growth to be had in Africa. So yeah, definitely agree with a lot of the Cardano mission that Africa is a really great place to be in terms of entrepreneurship. So we're a platform that will be enabling African communities to improve living conditions and create wealth. So I wanted to start off talking about a bit of the challenges of affordable housing and finance in Africa. And this is what the slide is all about. Oh, I should probably be presenting. How do we do that? Oh, there we go. Now it's better. Okay, so one of the main challenges is the term of funding. So a lot of people find micro lending and shorter term funding a lot more attractive because they don't have to lock up their liquidity for longer periods. So that's one of the reasons why funding is so expensive and so hard to find in a lot of African countries. Another one is the perceived risk, and that can be the risk of investing in Africa as a whole or investing in a particular economy within there. You might have some previous knowledge that makes you think that's a dangerous investment. And then obviously you've got the currency risk, inflation, all of these things that you have to consider. There's a lack of capital, there's not that many investors that do have this appetite to invest in this area. And this kind of is a vicious cycle, as you can imagine. Like, you don't have investors, people don't find it attractive to invest in you, then maybe you're not going to be working in this area anymore. You're going to find a job somewhere else, or you're going to even immigrate somewhere else to look for a job elsewhere. So you can imagine it's just a vicious cycle where things just get more and more difficult. And that's where we're hoping to come in. So this is a bit about the Empower platform and its participants. Being kind of a decentralized platform that we want to be, we need to kind of look at things holistically, and people have different roles within the platform. So these different roles will have different functionalities that we want to build out. Not all of these are available yet, but it's an iterative process, and we're all here kind of experimenting a bit like Catalyst and trying to define the right process. This is all available on our website as well. So if you want to look at it in a bit more detail, you can do so there, but keep it brief. So what we do to enable the financing for affordable housing in Africa is we sell NFTs, and we call these impact cards. And these not only provide you with potential financial return in our native token EMP, it also provides you with impact stories and utility, like any other NFT, you have a utility that, you know, might be an artistic one, or it might be some sort of DeFi NFT that gives you some sort of boost in a DEX or another protocol. So we're always trying to look at finding this interesting mixture of impact, rewards, and utility / art. So it's always fun to do these NFTs. We're only on our first one. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, you can see kind of what will make up an NFT and its impact. So the affordable housing model, of course, but we're also looking at women empowerment, which is something that's, you know, very important to us, because in a lot of countries, it is a lot more difficult for women to get housing. So, you know, we're looking at kind of bridging that gap as well. And then, of course, climate smart housing, that's something that's super important to us and we're always experimenting with. We have some plans for hemp housing in Mozambique, and yeah, doing some initial houses and then seeing how those pan out in the market. Yeah, it's a lot of experimentation, and that's a lot of the fun in it. And yeah, let me go to the next slide. So yeah, this is essentially what we're trying to do with our solution is, you know, create a liquid asset that people can put their money into, and, you know, it's something that's providing really creating an impact and not exploiting people on the ground. They're not making a return at the expense of somebody else, or even at the expense of the environment. So yeah, this is something that's really important to us. And, you know, we're going to share these stories as we go with people that purchase these NFTs and help finance homes, as well as, you know, with the rest of the community and elsewhere to really showcase what we're able to achieve with Cardano and with the Empower platform. So yeah, going to give a little bit about the Empower journey. We started our white paper in Q2 of 2021. That's when the two co-founders first met on a Cardano forum, Phil and Glenn. And from there, they created the white paper, applied for Catalyst funding in order to build, I think it was one home, but ended up building 4, you know, realized that we could actually build more than we expected to, you know, working with our local partner, getting the, stretching the money as much as possible, essentially, really trying to cut down on costs and cut down on the impact it has in the carbon impact and any sustainable aspects of the housing that we can improve on. So that was a lot of the work back in 2021, and that went really well. We also sold an NFT collection that was kind of to our founding community, you know, really showing us, skipping ahead. Yeah, really showing us that people were supporting our mission. So yeah, gave us confidence to go forward with our ISPO and token sale, which all went very well. And yeah, happy to be now releasing this NFT sale with World Mobile, and hopefully many more to come in the future with different partners, and, you know, a different makeup of the impact and the stories that they're providing to people. Yeah, so this is the NFT that changes live. We're very happy to partner with World Mobile, another one in the RealFi space. And yeah, they're going to be helping us providing internet connectivity to the first Empower financed houses through these NFTs. And yeah, it's a really exciting collab. We love working with other RealFi projects, other projects in general, but RealFi in particular, you know, we see the value is exponential, you know, when you're working with someone also on the ground with you. I think that's something we're, you know, continuing to explore, along with, of course, working with all the DeFi and cool projects on chain. I'm not sure how long I have, Daniel.
You have 2 minutes, but I think there are some questions in the chat if you want.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think I've covered pretty much all of it, you know, just talking a little bit about our offering in Mozambique, reduced the home price to 10,000. The homes are cyclone resistant, which is very important for the region. Yeah, it's probably the most important things. I'd love to get questions and reply to those.
I think there's one from Thomas. Doesn't this just destabilize the local economies, like how the company that gave away free shoes in Ghana bankrupted all of the cobblers?
Sure, happy to tackle that. Okay, so just to clarify a little bit, so what we do is we work with local partners. So they're developers that are already in this region. They already know the market. They're already building homes. They're just having difficulty with funding and difficulty with marketing to local clients because the people don't have access to financing for the homes. And, you know, as a property developer, you're not able to just finance homes for people. Your job is kind of limited, and obviously finance is limited. So you're going to want to, have banks or other financial institutions that are doing that for you and helping you in that process. And that's essentially what we're doing. We're just being an alternative to traditional banks. So as opposed to going to, as someone who wants to buy a home, having to get a mortgage and have a large down payment, or be paying 20 to 30% interest per year, through the Empower model, Casa Real, our partner on the ground, is offering lease to buy homes at 10%, below 10% is what we're kind of trying to maintain it at. And this is, as you can imagine, a way better deal for someone who's looking for a home, especially when there's cyclones coming every year. You'd much rather pay less than 10% and have this kind of very accessible home rather than go through all the deal with the banks, which is, it's a big deal for us in, you say, the West, but in Mozambique, it's even more difficult for you to get a mortgage. It's like, I think a figure we tend to use a lot is 600 mortgages in Mozambique. That's the amount of mortgages they have, and it's 30 million people in the country. So you can see that 600 mortgages is probably what has on my road. Everyone on my road can come together and have 600 mortgages. So you can imagine that, there's a big disparity in the demand and the supply for housing in Mozambique. And then that's just kind of an excerpt of the rest of Africa. I feel like if you go to Nigeria, it's a very similar situation.
So Bruno, thank you. I think there's a lot of questions for you in the chat. If you can.
I'll hop over there and let someone else present now.
Great. And we're gonna have now Sean from Impact Scope that is gonna present 3 different Fund 9 proposals. I think it's gonna be a little tight, but please, Sean, go ahead.
Okay, thanks very much. It is going to be tight, but I promised Daniel that I'd stick to 5 minutes. So
you can take the whole 10 minutes to present, and maybe the people can give the questions in the chat, and you can respond them in the chat.
Okay, we'll see how it goes anyway. So So I'm Sean Murphy. I'm the co-founder of Impact Scope. We build sustainability solutions for all kinds of digital asset companies, exchanges, NFT platforms, mining operators, mining pools, etc. We have 3 proposals in the current Catalyst 9. Before I get into them, I'll just give you some background on Impact Scope and our history and journey till now. We've been around for 2 years. We have a public-facing nonprofit in Geneva, a holding company in Budapest, Hungary, and our operationals arm is in Tallinn, Estonia. We started out basically building easy-to-integrate real-time offsetting tools for cryptocurrency exchanges. They plug our tools into their backends, and then their clients can offset the carbon emissions of their crypto trades. For mining companies, mining pools, we provide a life cycle analysis assessment. We assess their carbon emissions. We have developed our own in-house methodologies for calculating very specifically the carbon emissions of virtually all proof of work digital assets. We're probably global authorities in that. Our clients include some of the large North American mining companies, Arthur Mining, Peter Thielbach, B2C Corp, etc. We also have our own in-house carbon offset and impact project development pipeline. We reached qualified competitor status in the Elon Musk X Prize, $100 million X Prize for carbon removal. And we have project partners in plastic recycling, food security, carbon finance, a very large project in Uganda. About 8 months ago, we expanded our model to move towards building Web3 tools for any kind of impact financing, impact tokenization, focusing on proof of impact, focusing on impact liquidity. And this is just one module we developed for a European fiat off-ramp. It's a real-time carbon offsetting module for crypto exchanges. Some of our clients, uHodler, one of the largest crypto lending platforms in Switzerland, Crypto to Cash, I showed them previous screen, Next Earth, large metaverse platform. In the current Catalyst round, we have 3 proposals in looking for funding between 15 and 23,000 for each one. There are 3 categories. One is a proof of impact NFTs, one is a verify to earn mechanism, and one is an impact dashboard for staking pool operators. How am I doing for time there, Daniel? Good. Okay, so I'll just very quickly go through these, and if you have any questions, just type them in the chat and I'll try to answer them. If we run out of time, I'll make note of who you are and we can follow up offline. So this is our first proposal is an impact dashboard for staking pool operators. So as you know, staking pool operators, if there are plenty of portals and dashboards out there which compare the performance and key metrics of various ADA staking pools, you can go to adapools.org, for example, and you can compare dozens of pools. You can sort them by various data points like estimated return of ADA annualized or total share of ADA in a pool or the fee structures. And then there are also specialized portals that and dashboards that provide altruistic Cardano fans with information about which staking pools support which social impact projects. For example, missiondrivenpools.org is a good example. So we're looking at a way to combine both of these, a dashboard that essentially allows viewers to compare the performance of different impact projects based on various methodologies and based on various impact points. So that's, let me go back to my slide. You can still see my screen, can you? Yes? Okay, cool.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. I'll dash through the remaining 2 proposals, but I seem to have lost my presentation in the meantime. Bear with me for a moment. Okay. Can't I see my screen now? Hang on, let me stop and reshare. I apologize for this. Stopping, resharing, back, share, do. Okay. The sharing's back on now again, I presume, right? Yeah, okay, so the next proposal we have is a dynamic proof of impact NFTs. These are linked more or less to the previous proposal. So we want to give staking pool operators that focus on supporting impact projects some kind of reward that they can give to their delegators. Yes. You can, okay. So this is a dynamic proof of impact NFT project. The stakers get dynamic NFTs. The metadata traits of the NFTs change. They're connected to oracles, and the visual traits of the NFT also display the amount of impact visually that's created in a very kind of gamified, animated way. So this is our second proposal. For this, we have 2 projects. One is a plastic recycling project in Uganda, and one is an offsetting project in Kenya. So the amount of impact we display as, for example, trees planted, clean cook stoves distributed, amount of plastic recycled, and those are the areas we display in that. The final proposal we have is a part of the Catalyst Natives and Carta Shift module. This is more of a tokenomics engineering research project based around verify to earn. So the concept here is that we want to promote tokenomics models that focus on behavior change. So recycling activities, avoiding meat for a day, saving water, spending time in nature. So figuring out tokenomics models that can specifically be built around incentivizing those types of behaviors and also at the same time verifying that they've taken place. So it's a tokenomics engineering exercise primarily, and the expected output will be more, I say, academic in nature. So yeah, those are our 3 proposals. That's all from me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Sean. Wow. Wow. That's a huge group. How many more people are in your team?
We're a team of 12. We're based, I would say, 1/3 in Budapest area, 1/3 Geneva area, and 1/3 in London.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
I think there's a question for you in the chat. I don't know if
Sure.
you can see it. I can see it right now. It's about how do you manage the criticism for carbon credits and bonus? How do you manage that? I think it's.
How do we manage the what? Sorry, the.
I'll ask the question. I don't mind fielding it. So there's been a very strong critique of carbon credits, carbon capture schemes, carbon offsetting, environmental impact reduction schemes by Greenpeace International, which are kind of the world leaders on this kind of thing. It says that it's actually really, really bad to sell those and offer those to products. Because instead of incentivizing them to have a lower impact, what it actually does is it means that they can have as high an impact as they want, as long as they can foot the bill and plant 5,000 trees in Romania, whatever. So how do you kind of deal with that criticism from what you're building, and what is it that you guys are specifically focused on? Be that like companies that can't otherwise offset, or you know, how do you address that?
Sure, absolutely. A lot of criticisms of offsetting are very valid, and unfortunately, that is absolutely the case, and there's no escaping it. Very familiar with Greenpeace's main criticisms. It is essentially akin in bad carbon offsetting projects are akin to basically paying somebody else to do your homework for you. Regarding Greenpeace's stance on this, it does have to be said, however, that Greenpeace, they are specifically attacking Shell, the company Shell's carbon offsetting policies and methodologies, which are definitely lower standard and definitely cutting corners, and a lot of criticism is valid. But I think if you make a conscious decision to deal with carbon offsetting projects that are verified and certified by Gold Standard in Geneva or Vera in Washington, I think that's a very strong guarantee of the quality of most of the projects. Not all, but the overwhelming majority. Because as part of the verification process, we're talking about a 2.5-year process just for benchmarking, just for assessing the actual carbon sequestration. And both Gold Standard and Vera, they insist on enormous amounts of what are called co-benefits. So if you look at a clean cook stove distribution project that is verified by Vera or Gold Standard, you can be sure that they've absolutely measured the expected co-benefits. So reduced cooking times for food, more economic activity, reduced smoke in huts, for example, lower respiratory diseases. So all of these co-benefits can actually be measured quite scientifically.
Thank you. We'll go to the next presentation with Ben from Tangent Art, or Clint. I see a lot of people from Tangent here.
We're here now. Sorry, guys, we've been in and out. We were hosting our own breakout room, which is just concluded. But yeah, first of all, a big thanks to the Metera team for hosting us, and yeah, we're ready to present. I think most of us are all here now. So bear with me. I will share my screen.
This room is getting so big.
It's what we like. The bigger, the better.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty then. So I'll kick us off. Our proposal that
before you start, 5-minute presentation and 5-minute Q&A. If you want to take the 10 minutes for the presentation, that's okay. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been timing a little bit. We should be okay. Should be okay. All right, lovely job. So I'll get us started. My name is Ben Gordon. I'm one of the co-founders of Tangent. Tangent was launched or idealized around about a year ago. We want to bring utility to NFTs on Cardano. So we have two main themes that we've applied for funding for Fund 9, and one of them is the NFT farming platform on Cardano. Actually, in our breakout room just now, we were doing a walkthrough of our MVP, and hopefully with time at the end, we'll also do similar. If you'd like to find our proposal and look at it in your own time, please just scan the QR below. Okay, so we'll start with our problem statement. NFTs need more utility to drive long-term engagement. As of yet, there is no leading platform on Cardano that allows for NFTs to be staked and farmed in DeFi smart contracts. So the answer that we came up with was that we're going to create a platform that allows for owners and developers to make their own farms where users can stake multiple NFTs on an aesthetically pleasing interface whilst generating extrinsic rewards for each user. Okay, so we'll take a little step back now. I'm sure most of you are aware, but maybe some are not. So we want to say, what is NFT farming? So NFT farming is obviously a merger or evolution, if you like, of DeFi, where NFTs can have added financial utility and functionality, I should say. NFTs can be staked by themselves or alongside other cryptocurrency assets within NFT farming pools to generate rewards for investors. Now, these rewards can be in different ways, and we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So, operative artwork. This is a term that we have cloned ourselves. And what actually is it? So we feel that operative artwork, we are bringing utility to NFTs, okay? So the next step in the development of complex NFTs, they need to be collectible digital art pieces, of course, and we feel that our Genesis launch especially is that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but also they need to form parts of smart contracts naturally. Okay, this is why we coined the phrase operative artwork to describe our own tangent approach to NFTs, which can also perform functions within these smart contracts used in decentralized finance. So who can create the NFT farms? Let's fly right down to the bottom first. So token teams, projects, creators, developers, communities, and a little passion for myself is the artists themselves. You know, another side to Tangent is an artistic grants program where I'm going off piste a little bit here, but we really want to give artists the platform to not only make their art, but to reproduce it, to sell it and gain some traction. We've worked with artists before and they really say that this is the struggle to actually get their art to the masses, and hopefully we can help do that. So our first NFT farm will be a closed system where only whitelisted Tangent Genesis NFTs, which is with our Japanese Bohemian artist called Quartz, can be staked. The second version of the DApp will be permissionless, and this is what we're really excited about. So anyone can create their own NFT farm. And here we go. So we are using, of course, the term DeFi as a service. This is what we're providing for phase 2 of our NFT farming platform. So other projects can come to us and they can create their own NFT farming pool, and they can decide anything from the fee to how the rewards can be given. It could be in NFTs, it could be in ADA, or it could be in another native token. Which of course, which NFTs to be whitelisted is up to them as well. And other areas such as the time frame, and which liquidity pool or LP tokens are accepted. Okay, just a few more slides left. I hope we haven't bored any of you as of yet. So our types of NFT farms, we have single-sided farming. Okay, so just to explain these in a little bit more detail. So quite simply, stake NFTs and receive your rewards. So we also are going to introduce liquidity provided farming, where users provide liquidity themselves on AMM exchanges, and they can stake their liquidity tokens and NFTs to earn rewards in exchange for, but not always for providing the liquidity, but special benefits within this will be unlocked, such as voting rights. Tang is a governance token, and a governance token is a way that this can be provided. Okay, moving on, the artwork. So without giving too much away, this is part of our 12+1 Genesis edition. You can see some moving versions here. I'm not going to stay on this screen for too long because we don't want to give the game away, and we encourage you to, once up for sale on Cardano NFT marketplaces such as jpeg.store, we really encourage you to go and have a look at it. This is our operative artwork. Okay, so a little bit to tell you a little bit more about our Genesis edition. It is with artist Quartz. He's, as we said, a Japanese Bohemian artist, and this series will lionize and honor the scientists, mathematicians associated with Cardano. So each NFT is packed with hidden riddles, which can only be cracked either by someone who's very knowledgeable on the matter, or by purchasing the NFTs, and you will receive a pack with the answers in a very cool way. We don't want to tell you too much more. As we mentioned before, farming rewards will be paid in Tang, the governance token of the Tangent platform. We encourage users, as we mentioned before, to stake multiple NFTs. we're going to have a turbocharged farm where users can stake multiple NFTs and generate some really quite impressive APY returns. So the last slide, I believe, community reporting. How are we going to report to you on our progress? So, of course, through our social media channels via Discord, YouTube, and Telegram, bi-weekly updates, through Gitbug monthly reports, and through Cardano-specific press releases. And that is essentially our presentation for our NFT farming platform. Here are our social media handles below, and there is our link to this idea scale proposal. And I am just going to briefly stop sharing. And if it's okay, I'm going to quickly show you our MVP. I think I'll have to do this again. Can I go 1 second? Excuse, bear with me. And then we can take some questions. Just bear with me 2 seconds. It's just going to work. There we go. So hopefully you can see our MVP. So this is what we were presenting today in our own breakout room. And this is the NFT Launchpad, but of course we're here for the farm. So here is a basic walkthrough of our MVP. Users can connect the wallet. We have support for NAMI, Eternal, and Flint. Let's go for NAMI for now. And here are your obviously your ADA balance will be here, your wallet address here, and you can go through and you can stake, etc., unstake, and I'll just stop it there for now. So thank you very much.
I think someone raised his hand. Thomas?
Hey, Ben. It's great to see you in the space again. And it's good to see you more.
Good to see you again. Familiar face again.
Yeah. I've got a few questions. So is it kind of an open platform where anyone can, with their NFTs, they can create a staking pool? And to tack onto that, presuming it is, where does the liquidity come from? Is it from royalties? Where does this, as you said, fantastic APY? Where does that come from? How is that generated?
Can I take the question?
Yeah,
is that
okay. Go for it.
Yeah, it is we do plan to make it a permissionless platform. So literally it'll be a no code platform. You just click create farming pool, and then you can select what tokens to whitelist. You can select how many rewards per epoch and when the farm will end. And then you also select what your reward token will be. So the rewards come from the person who creates the farm. And it could be, we're updating the code right now, this week, to support 3 different reward tokens. So basically someone could create a single-sided staking pool where it's just a governance token that's staked, and then it gives another reward token, but it could be 3 reward tokens. So it could be ADA plus their own native governance token plus NFTs that are accruing in rewards. And then when they want to claim them, they click claim. Or it could be, liquidity pool token that's staked and the similar thing on the other side. So, but the rewards really are determined by the person who's creating the farming pool and what they pick to be the rewards token. That's not really up to us. For our own farming pool, obviously we have our Tang token and we have the Tangent DAO and we have a treasury, and we're setting up like a tokenomics and economic system within that.
Fantastic. So this is kind of like a utility where, James creates a DAO, and that DAO is generating revenue, and he'd like to give some of that revenue back to some of the holders of the NFTs that represent ownership in the DAO. This is a kind of a built-in tool that you could just go onto and go, okay, well, he'll add the liquidity and he'll add the NFTs, and then instead of having to pay the ADA fee to give it out to everyone, it's all built into the system. Am I kind of getting the right framework?
Yeah.
For what
You totally got it right, Thomas, man. You've got the concept completely. And a lot of people said, oh, well, what's the difference between this and Sunday Swap? MinSwap, they have their own farming pools. That's true. But I've been speaking to some other projects and they said to me, oh, we contacted Sunday Swap and they told us we have to have $100,000 in the liquidity pool to start a farm. So that's quite a large barrier to entry to a lot of projects. Not everyone has $100,000 to throw down. Secondly, it is permission based. They have to contact Sunday Swap. Now, I know the first version of ours is also pretty much permission-based. You've got to contact us. We're going to onboard you. But eventually, we will have it completely permissionless. So we hope to really cater to those people who don't have that kind of capital to create the farm on Sunday Swap. And it could even be, obviously, it's developers. It could be someone with a DApp which is generating yield. It could also be an NFT artist who just wants to reward their fan base, and they want to have like a stakeable NFT. It could be as simple as that, and they create their own token. And now this is a fair, transparent way of distributing it. So for us, we're not going to charge people any money at all to create the farm. What we're going to do for us, the business model we're going for is commission based. So we're going to take a cut on the way out. on the withdrawal and on the claiming, we'll take a flat fee. So you can stake as much as you want, you can create as many pools as you want, but when your users actually finally come to claim their rewards, we'll take that flat fee, and that's going to go towards sustaining the operation and paying for dev work, etc. And also maybe towards the Tangent DAO too. So
thank you, Clint. Amazing. We have 2 more presentations left. Now it's Newman. If you can share your screen.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take a little pause because those presentations have blown my mind. I mean, I hope that you guys are feeling the same as I am, is that there is real impact going on here. Like the future, the little seeds that are being sort of planted that will grow into the future. I think that Thomas and I have the same thing. I was just like, this liquidity pool and finance and circular economies, non-exploitive economy. I mean, just that alone. So I just want to take a bit of a pause, but I will take the time because 2 of the, yeah, for sure. Because 2 of the initiatives that C4C is trying to get a hold of is different languages in different time zones. Meaning that there are all these ideas and we're trying to be worldwide. These ideas can be worldwide. The idea of environmentalism and activism and technology can be worldwide. And so I want to highlight 2 initiatives that we've got going, and those are the community hubs in Africa and East Asia. Basically, they're just to be funded so that we can bring together some of the people in those time zones and speaking those languages to get their ideas in and make them part of the conversation. So that's all I wanted to say, just to take a little pause, sort of reflect on the bigness, the giantness of what's going on here, and to sort of express that you have a home in Cardano for Climate. Please join, follow us on the socials, but come down and see it. Each one of you, I would love to see you get involved, present your ideas, and get the feedback that we can, as a group, provide. That being said, I'd like to see back the time to you guys. This is really, really phenomenal.
Great. We have Suhair Abdain with a presentation as well. Can you please present?
Yes, sure.
Impact staking for good.
No, this is not mine, impact staking.
Oh, sorry. Can you tell me which one is it?
It's add Cardano to first ADA, add ADA to first NFT marketplace.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second to share my screen. Okay, so I'm gonna make it quick. Hi, everyone. My name is Zuhair from Nifty Souk, and I'm really happy to be part of this. We are the first and largest NFT marketplace in the MENA region. Sorry, just give me a second. I lost something. Yeah, so Nifty Souk is the first and largest NFT marketplace in the Middle East and North Africa. Our platform enables anyone to explore and buy digital assets. We aim to inspire creators, brands, and communities from different backgrounds to share and sell their work in the form of NFTs. We have one proposal, and the title is Add ADA to First NFT Marketplace in MENA. So the problem we want to solve is that there is no local NFT marketplace which supports local languages and categories to create and sell NFTs using Cardano. The solution we're proposing is to expand and develop our existing marketplace to the MENA region, exposing and enabling a new NFT community on Cardano. so the challenge we are targeting is dApps, products and integrations. This is because we are delivering a dApp marketplace and integrating Cardano to our platform. Succeeding to do this will allow users to interact with Cardano, which will lead to more feedback, growth, and innovations. Okay, so our proposal contains 3 major milestones. The first one is the integration of Cardano into our marketplace. Since we already have a working product, we do not need to create the entire marketplace from scratch. However, we plan to integrate Cardano using the best skills and methods. The second milestone is acquisition and education of users. In the MENA region, people are not really, they do not have much knowledge about Cardano and crypto in general. We had great success in providing education services in the MENA to the MENA community through our existing marketplace, and we now plan to conduct a similar process on Cardano. Last but not least, PR and marketing. Since we are already working on PR and marketing for our current platform, the infrastructure for this phase has already been built. Okay, why do we think you should support us? First of all, our team is considered as pioneers in the region when it comes to crypto and NFTs. The second thing is experience. We believe that our experience will provide value to the Cardano community and increase adoption. Also, our community, we have reached to many creators and artists since our launch, and we established a special community. Finally, our vision. We have a short-term and long-term visions to ensure that Cardano reaches its potential in the region. Our proposal does not directly impact Cardano to become more sustainable. However, Cardano is more sustainable and energy efficient than our current blockchains that we are working with. So adding Cardano to our platform will immediately reduce our carbon footprint. We got good reviews and a PA score of 4.57 in our proposal. And this is it. Thank you for your time. Please check out our proposal if you have the time, and I will drop my Telegram if you'd like to connect with me for further discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Someone raised his hand. Oh, I think.
Hi, Zuha. Hi. I've got a really simple question. It's like a 2-part question. The first is, what's the turnover of your NFT platform month to month already? I suppose it's a 3-part question. Second, if it is profitable for you to launch on Cardano, why can't you use the profits from the turnover of your existing business to do so? And the third one, and I guess it's kind of a, I'll throw it as a softball. What does your platform offer that we don't already have through JPEG Store and CNFT and that kind of stuff? What's the big difference?
Okay, so the answer to your first question, first of all, we are not making any profits at the moment. We're currently developing our website. We're improving it. We're adding other features other than Cardano. We're adding credit card fiat payments. We're adding lots of new stuff so we can make it easier for users to enter the world of NFTs, because as I mentioned, people are not very, they don't have good knowledge about opening wallets and cryptocurrencies and NFTs in our region. So we're trying to make it as seamless as possible. Like we're making it just like any other normal Web2 marketplace, let's say Amazon. So you can go buy an NFT using a credit card without any hassle. So we're investing in this stuff right now. And the other question is, what's different is that it's supporting our local language mainly. So it's available in Arabic, which is our main language. There is no other marketplace which is available in this language. Also, the other thing is that we're supporting our like local categories, which are culture related. We have some categories like Arabic poems, Arabic designs and stuff like that. They are not available in global marketplaces, and people are not being able to get exposure in global marketplaces because of the high quantity of other, let's say, NFTs and the many artists. Yeah. Thank you
very much, Suhair. We're gonna go into the last one. Dylan from Algate Token. Please go ahead and share your screen. That'll be it with the presentations.
All right, hang on one second. I wouldn't mind if I could sharing from one and being on another. So I've got two accounts on there, so if that's confusing. Okay. All right. So yeah, this was unexpected. I just came in to listen. So thank you for having me, everyone. I'm Dylan from Algae Token. And Algae Token just aims to provide physical solutions to food, fuel, and climate issues, using the blockchain to create dApps and smart contracts to initiate a DAO, offering sustainable products and services via Web3 technology. So the team here consists of an incredible bunch of people who have extensive knowledge in developing and delivering algae farms around the world, from United States, Singapore, Vietnam, India, Australia, and Oman, just globally everywhere. This is what we specialize in, and we're looking at bringing this to the blockchain. So what we're looking at is two systems. One's an asset token for creating algae farms. So we're looking at digital assets. So a lot of the presentations tonight have been very much in key with what we're doing. And the other is a utility for all of the governance and smart contracts, the design, architecture, design, infrastructure, coding, implementation of everything that's smart contracts, quality, supply chain tracking. There's a lot going on in there that we're looking at. So why algae? Algae is the biggest producer of oxygen on the planet currently. We can help reduce global warming. It's now been classified as a superfood, so we can help in malnutrition. We've got highly nutritional value in this, and the byproducts from that are actually a high value protein, which is a vegan protein that can be used. Currently, just for example, in Australia, we're importing 17 million tons of soybean from overseas to feed cattle. So we can use this for not just cattle, all sort of animal stock mainly, but we could use other high value micro and macro algae that use non-potable water. We can use ocean water. We can use very brinish water to do that. We don't compete with arable land or arable water. So there's lots of benefits going from pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, there's biofertilizers, feedstocks, human food, and we can make plastics. We can do so many things. And then there's fuel. We can also make fuel. This is the only solution to resolving the world's current fuel issues. And we can do that in a very sustainable way. So we have 6 proposals, and they're all different. Algae Token, a sustainable future, profitable product integration, service and product DAO development, ESG reporting, legal and financial standards, and sustainable ecosystem hub. So a lot of this caters to education and informing people on the benefits of algae, benefits to your health, and the benefits of using it on the blockchain and Cardano to help get a net zero outcome for Cardano. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at real world solutions to climate issues. So yeah, as I said there, lots comes down to the education, and we're looking at ESG reporting. It's one of the highest SDGs sort of projects there could possibly be, ticking nearly all of the boxes. I think it's about 10 directly and the rest are indirect. So we're looking at carbon credits, zero net sort of CO2 for Cardano, helping to achieve that. We're looking at the legal framework for this, for entities and token classifications, and the ability to do that successfully and digitally trade. This is all being put in place in several jurisdictions around the world. We just need to follow that correctly and do that. We've taken a long time to do this project because we're looking to do it correctly. We're all scientists and engineers that work in the industry, and we are constantly writing peer-reviewed journal articles in our research. So that's another draw card to Cardano, that they do very similar things. So we fit nicely in with that. So yeah, we're also on the Genius X Launchpad. So they're supporting our work, and we're looking at expanding out in our team and in our development. And down the bottom there, we've got, Sustainable ADA, Cardano for Climate, Blockchain Learning Center, and the Blockchain Institute for Climate as well. They're just, they're not strictly Cardano, but they're all blockchain. We're talking to as many people as we can to interact, and I think collaboration is the key to all of these projects. So has anyone got any questions at this stage?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm a big fan of Algae token, and definitely hoping we can speak in the future. Yeah, potential collaboration with Empower. But I've got kind of like a question for you. Do you see any kind of waste product of these farms, or is there any negative that you can see that is like, there's a farm, but is there any kind of potential contamination that can be to local water sources? I'm just imagining worst case scenario.
That's a good question. And I see a lot in news regarding this sort of thing. And there can also be news about sort of toxins and things like that. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of professors out there searching for these toxins in the algae, and they can't find them. Not in tropical anyway, not in the tropical waters. But what we do, I work on an algae farm all day, and we have no waste. It's being a chemical engineer, looking at something where every single step of the way you've got a high value product is an amazing thing. It's all carbon neutral, and sort of the sustainability is huge. There is the obviously there's all of the regulatory implementations in place for your environmental acts. So as with any sort of food processing, we need to have that. And because we do have open farms, things like that, we do need bunting and things like that. And there is that case where, flooding or something like that could have overflow into rivers. Generally, we use local species, so they're not impacting negatively on what is already in the sort of ecosystem. And in a flood, it would be dispersed so widely that it wouldn't have a big impact. But we've designed things so if there is that sort of case, everything can be pumped out into tanks and storage. So to avoid these sort of things, we recently had floods here in Brisbane, and we had to do a very similar thing to avoid anything. There shouldn't, with what we grow, there shouldn't be any sort of negative impact. But as we're seeing around the world with over-fertilization, those nutrients do leach down into rivers, and then they cause algae blooms to happen. And that's a problem when it's not being managed correctly, because basically it will settle on the top layer and block the sun, and then everything underneath suffers from that. So these are things that need to be avoided. And doing what we do, we also work a lot in sort of water remediation, so cleaning some dirty waters and cleaning up after industrial activities. So we're looking at helping remediate water from the industries that are polluting it, and we are looking at also, we've got flocculants and ways of sort of harvesting riverways that are affected by these natural algae blooms from over-fertilization and things like that, to help contain that. But our main focus is on food and nutrition, because most people on the planet are missing out on a high amount of minerals and nutrition that they don't even know they're missing out on. All your omega oils and everything like that from fish, they're vital to your heart and your mind. And people are starting to see that, but all of those omegas actually come from algae. The fish eat the algae, and that's where it gets stored. So that's another thing we're looking at doing, helping to reduce the cull of fish for algae, for omegas, when we can grow the algae and extract those oils in a more natural way. And it seems to be more bioavailable too, from the studies we're undertaking. We've also got some macroalgae that help reduce methane in cattle to an extent of up to 90%. So that's another good environmental sort of case for this. I've tried to look, but there's not really any negatives that I've found, which is one of the major draw cards for this. It's a lot of positives and very little negatives. It's a very new industry too. It's as I said, it's being classified now as a superfood. It's got massive potential and growth. And being in the industry for 15 years, we've done all the economic evaluations, and we know how to set this up correctly. So it is very profitable. So we can make a profitable product on the blockchain, which people can invest in, and also having the utility there that does all the back end work digital, cutting out the middleman to streamline processes, and having oracles run with quality assurance data. So that way we can improve our processes a long way to make it even more of a positive.
Great. So that's it for all the presentations and the time for Q&A. I'm gonna end the recording right now. This was amazing. I can't believe so many people turned out and so many amazing projects. I hope the best. I wish the best of luck to everyone in Fund 9, and thank you. We'll be doing this over the next few weeks, and for Fund 10, working closely with Newman and Cardano for climate. So thank you very much to everyone, and now we can connect. I've seen a lot of interest in making some connections at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna end this right now, and we can go ahead with that.